They said it was too big to build, too risky to fly, and too expensive to fail. Yet, one strange curve, the hump, rewrote aviation forever. In the next minutes, you will see why Boeing bet the company on a shape that shouldn't have worked, how it almost collapsed on a day one, and the secret that let this giant outlive every rival. Late in the 1960s, the jet age is exploding. Airlines are packed. Juan Trippe at Pan Am dreams bigger, double the passengers, half the coast. Boeing answers with a moonshot. Lead engineer Joe Sutter pulls a hand-picked team, the Incredibles, into a brand new factory in Everett, Washington, the largest building by volume on Earth. Timeline? Brutal. Budget? Thin? Failure? Not an option. This isn't just another airplane. This is the bet that the company machine that could make or break Boeing, and the future of a long-haul travel. About that famous hump, people think it was built for a lounge. Truth? Cargo. Boeing wanted a front cargo door so the jet could become a freighter if the passenger market crashed. To keep the nose door clear, they moved the cockpit up, creating the upper deck. Lounge culture came later. The hump was a pure survival design. February 1969, the 747 lifts off, an aircraft the size of a building, flying like a bird, when the Triumph turns fragile. Early engine struggled with reliability, delays mounted. Critics whispered, "White elephant." For months, Boeing fought teething issues, tweaking, testing, praying, one bad quarter from a catastrophe. In January 1970, Pan Am launched the first World 747 service, New York to London. From then on, the sky felt smaller and the world closer. If you were lucky enough to board in the 1970s, the 747 felt like a floating city. 2 aisles, staircase to a private upper deck, pianos, smoking rooms. Airlines turned the hump into a status symbol. For families, it was the first affordable leap across the oceans. For millions, it was the first passport stamp, first sunrise over the Atlantic, first time in the world felt reachable. Meet the family that kept the Queen young, the 747-100, the original, big range for their time, 4 massive turbofans. The 747 SP, short and powerful, built for ultra-long routes before twin could cross oceans confidently. The 747-300 stretched in more seats, and the legend 747-400 winglets, glass cockpit, long legs, the 1990s long-haul king, and the last 747-800, quieter, longer, more efficient engines, and that elegant rigged wingtip. Each variant wasn't just bigger, it adapted to routes, economics, and the world changing under its wings. Remember the hump as a survival design? It paid off twice. First, the 1970 oil crisis made seats harder to sell. Cargo stayed strong because the cockpit sat above the nose. The 747 could swing open its front door and swallow outside freight, cars, turbines, relief supplies. Decades later, when twin-engine jets took over long-haul passengers, the 747 reinvented itself as a freighter. The same nose door and the tall gear kept it vital. The hump wasn't a luxury, it was an insurance that mattered. 747 carried President as an Air Force One, carried space shuttles on its back, carried pilgrims, students, rock bands, refugees, and dreams. After disasters, 747 arrived heavy with aid and left heavy with hope. Pilots called it graceful, ground crew called it stubborn, and a spotter called it poetry. The Queen of the Skies wasn't just a machine, it was a character in our lives. Technology moved on. Twin-engine jets like the 777, 787, and Airbus 350 flew farther with less fuel. Airports preferred frequency over size. Passenger 747 faded from schedules. Even as a freighter thrived. In 2023, Boeing delivered the final 747 ever built. Mechanics signed the inside panels. Crew cried on the ramp. A chapter closed. And that taught us how big ideas become everyday's reality. Half a century, the 747 carried billions of people and billions of stories. It shrank oceans and expanded lives. Proved that the riskiest curve, the hump, can change the world if you bet on it for the right reason. That's the real secret. Vision backed by engineering, and engineering backed by courage. They said it was too big to build, too risky to fly, and too expensive to fail. And that's exactly why it did.